By the end of this video, you'll know the 3 real reasons Americans are drowning in nearly $18 trillion of debt, and why 2 of them have almost nothing to do with overspending. And the third reason? It's the one that explains why smart, responsible people end up deeper in debt the harder they try to get out. Stick with me on that one. Grab a seat and let's get into it. Here's where we start, and this one's going to feel personal. Your brain lies to you every time you swipe your card. Not metaphorically, literally, neurologically. In 2007, researchers at Carnegie Mellon used fMRI brain scans to watch what happens when people spend money. When you pay with cash, a region called the insula activates. That's the part of your brain tied to pain and disgust. It actually hurts, on a neurological level, to hand over physical money. Pay with a credit card? That region goes quiet. The pain of paying switches off entirely. Behavioral economist Dan Ariely calls it the anesthesia of credit. In that same study, participants bid on sold-out basketball tickets. With cash, the average bid was $28. With a credit card, same seats. The average jumped to $61, more than double. Same people, same tickets, different payment method. MIT researchers confirmed the pattern. People spend 12 to 18% more when paying by card. McDonald's saw average transaction sizes jump 47% after introducing card payments. This isn't a willpower problem. Financial therapist Amanda Clayman, quoted in the New York Times and on NPR, describes clients who say, "I feel nothing when I swipe. It's like it's not real. Then the bill comes and I feel physically sick, like I've been mugged by my past self." The pleasure of buying and the pain of paying are separated by weeks. Your brain doesn't connect them. A lot of people describe a moment, standing at a grocery checkout, card declining, putting items back while people wait, where that disconnect becomes impossible to ignore. One account in the CFPB database describes a parent putting cereal back while their 7-year-old asked why. They sat in their car for 40 minutes afterward. That was the day everything changed. So what do? Use friction. Pay cash or debit for discretionary spending. Restaurants, clothes, anything that doesn't need a receipt. Handing over physical money re-engages the pain response your card suppresses. It's not magic, it's neuroscience, and you can start today. Okay, that's the first layer. But here's where it gets interesting. Because your psychology didn't end up this way by accident. There's a system that spent decades engineering it. The credit card industry generated $176 billion in interest and fee income in 2023 alone. JP Morgan Chase, one company, earned $24.4 billion in credit card net revenue that year. And a lot of the infrastructure making that possible was built on purpose. Take the minimum payment. It feels like a courtesy, like the bank is being reasonable. It wasn't. Citibank introduced minimum monthly payments in the 1980s specifically to maximize interest revenue. Before that, balances were expected to be paid in full each month. That one structural change is the foundation of the modern debt industry. Here's what it costs you. The average American carries $6,300 in credit card debt. The current average APR is nearly 23%, the highest on record since 1994. Make only minimum payments on a $5,000 balance at that rate, and you'll be paying for approximately 22 years. You'll hand over $13,200 total on a $5,000 debt. In March 2024, the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau tried to cap credit card late fees at $8. The current standard is $30 to $41 per late payment. That rule would have saved Americans $10 billion a year. A federal judge blocked it within weeks. As of 2025, the Trump administration has moved to gut the CFPB entirely. If that happens, the enforcement mechanism against these practices disappears. The window to use these protections may be shorter than you think. Here's something you can use this week. A 2019 creditcards.com survey found that 69% of cardholders who asked their bank for a lower interest rate received one. 69%. The call takes about 7 minutes. For someone carrying the average balance, dropping from 23% to 15% saves roughly $2,100 over the payoff period. Most people have never tried it because they didn't know it was an option. If this is clicking for you, hit subscribe. I put out videos like this every week. And stay with me because what's coming next is the part most people never calculate, and it's the reason the hole keeps getting deeper. All right. Remember how I said the third reason explains why smart people get deeper in debt the harder they try? Here it is. Most people are calculating the wrong number. When you carry a balance, you calculate what you borrowed plus interest. That feels like the real cost. It isn't close. $200 a month in credit card interest isn't just $200 lost. It's $200 that isn't being invested. The S&P 500 has averaged about 10.7% annually over the past 30 years. $200 a month at that rate over 30 years grows to $508,000. That means the average credit card balance, $6,000, paid off over 17 years, doesn't really cost $11,000 in interest. The true cost, measured in what that money could have become, is closer to $140,000. And it gets worse if the balance damages your credit score. On a $300,000 mortgage, the difference between excellent credit and poor credit creates a rate gap that costs $114,000 extra on one house, one purchase. The bad credit tax compounds across every financial decision you make for the rest of your life. Then there's what a 2022 study in Nature Human Behavior called cognitive tunneling. Financial scarcity doesn't just feel bad, it measurably impairs planning, creativity, and impulse control. Debt literally makes your brain worse at getting out of debt. That's the feedback loop. That's why the harder you try without the right strategy, the more stuck you feel. So what breaks it? The most mathematically efficient method is the debt avalanche. Pay minimums on everything, then throw every extra dollar at the highest interest balance first. A NerdWallet analysis found that approach saves an average of $1,386 more than paying smallest balances first. But here's the counterintuitive catch. A 2016 study in the Journal of Marketing Research found the smallest balance first method has 14% higher completion rates, because finishing something feels good. The best debt strategy isn't the one that looks best on paper, it's the one you'll actually stick to. Know yourself on this one. Holly and Greg Johnson of Indianapolis paid off $127,000 of debt in 4 years on a combined income that never exceeded $105,000. Their rule: they didn't cut out everything. They cut out the things that didn't bring them joy. Greg picked up freelance work, $8,000 to $12,000 extra a year, and every dollar went straight to debt. They never touched it for anything else. That psychological boundary, money that only existed to kill the debt, kept them moving when nothing else would have. Once you see that the cost of debt isn't just the interest, it's the retirement account you didn't build, the mortgage rate you couldn't qualify for, the clarity you couldn't afford, you can't unsee it. That $6,000 credit card balance isn't $6,000. Over a lifetime, it might be the difference between struggling at 65 and being free. So there you go. 3 real reasons Americans are drowning in debt: a brain wired to spend painlessly, a system engineered to keep you paying, and a hidden cost most people never calculate until it's already cost them everything. Every month, those numbers compound, which means the best time to act on any of this is right now. If this helped, share it with someone who needs to hear it, and subscribe so you don't miss what's coming next.